Hey everybody, it's Nick, your Monday guy, and this week we are going to be talking about menstrual cycles or Shark Week. So I'm going to go ahead and throw out a big, giant, huge trigger warning right now. If this is a topic that makes you feel uncomfortable in any way or is triggering, this probably is not the best week to be watching. Um, so with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. You guys are going to have to forgive me if it sounds like I have a cold or if it looks like I just got out of bed. It's because I do and I did. So I apologize. Um, okay, so this topic is actually my least favorite thing to talk about in the entire world. It makes me really uncomfortable and awkward. But, I'm a trans guy, so what trans guy enjoys talking about it? And we're all in this together, right? So I'll talk about it. You just listen. Um, so this can be a really, really difficult thing for any person, but especially a transgender person to have to deal with. And it is important to know that there are options. If this is something that just makes you so uncomfortable that you can't function or you feel like you need to do something about it, there are safe options. It's really important to talk to your therapist and your doctor. But there's birth control, there's hormone blockers. There are things you can do that will decrease the quality or decrease how often it is, and or completely make it go away. They will make it lighter. There's things you can do. Just make sure that you talk to your doctor because it's not good to do it just on your own. With that said, I guess I'll get into my story. I actually got kind of lucky in that I was a late bloomer. I actually didn't start until I was almost 18. I didn't start developing breasts even until I was 17-ish. So, and then I was super irregular for like 3 years. I was like maybe once every 4 months or so. And then by the time I was 20, I was on birth control for an unrelated reason. And that made it completely go away until I stopped at about 24 ish. And then at that point, I had started to go on a diet, and I was eating really, really healthy. I was exercising all the time because I was kind of chubby and I very unhealthy, and I needed to be healthy. So I did that, and did a lot of power yoga. I was a raw vegan. I dropped my body weight super, super low pretty quickly, which made my cycle completely go away. Now, this is not something I recommend. This is not safe to do. This is just my story and what I did, so you can learn from my mistakes. But, so I had my cycle stopped for a couple of years until I realized that I was doing a really unhealthy thing to my body by maintaining that low of a body weight. I mean, I was borderline anorexic because I did not want anything up here and I did not want a cycle. So I did everything that I could in my own power to make them both go away. Again, not healthy at all. Don't do it. You'll screw up your body. But that's what I did. And eventually I decided that I needed to get healthier. So because I'm a Chinese medicine student, so I need to be healthy if I'm going to be a doctor. So I started eating more protein and tried to put on some more weight. And I did, but it came in the form of female curves. And I swear to God, this is when I went through my puberty. It was not at 17. It was at 27, 28, 29. So that's when I started my puberty-ish. I don't know. I got super curvy. I started to develop breasts that I had never had before, and my cycle came on in a way that it never had in my entire life. It was completely regular. I had the worst cramps every month. It was terrible. I hated it. Um, and, being 29 and finally getting the female curves and the female body was just miserable. It put me into a really deep depression, and it was hard to deal with, and that is the number one thing that made me begin transitioning. um, was I a year and a half of that, and it was not stopping, it was not going away, and it really made me realize that wasn't me. I was not a female. I did not want that. I wanted to be a guy, and I was getting the wrong puberty at 27, 28 years old. So that's when I started transitioning. I started taking hormones. My cycle cut off 4 months after that, and I haven't had one since. So it's been about 5 months, and I couldn't be happier. I don't miss it at all. Um, so there's my story. Again, this is a really difficult thing to go through, and um, there are resources out there. So definitely make sure that you talk to your doctor if you think that that's something that you need to do, and your therapist. And otherwise, I will see you next Monday. Have a fantastic week.